Hey everybody out there in YouTube land, it's me, and I really wish I was cool enough to make that work. So, basically this is, sort of a follow-up video, kinda, sorta, to the one I did last month, because, well, like I said in my written blog anyway, towards the, start of the year, I'm going to try to make at least one video every month, and well, we're most of the way through February here, and I'm only just now getting to this. But like I've been saying other places, it's been a cold week here, and I've been on top of that, I've been busy with work and trying to survive the cold and all of that. But I think now that it's finally starting to warm up for the last week or so of the month, I am finally more or less getting to a place where I can actually excuse me get my head around doing some of this stuff. I keep saying I'm gonna try to do more of. That said, I've been going through my archives and stuff and looking at things, and turns out I've been working on trying to get through Final Fantasy IX for 5 years now, and I'm actually kind of at a point where I you know wound up just you know I don't know why I gave up on the game this close to the end last time I made it this far. I'm thinking it's just real life, that kind of thing got in the way, but I'd like to finally get back to that, and I'd like to think that maybe I'm finally in a good enough headspace that I can actually make that happen. Because it's the game I'd like to finish just for the sake of having done it. Um, and then there's the other text plays I've got going on right now too, which are Final Fantasy II and the I really should have looked this up before I sat down and started flapping my gums about it. But I'm gonna say it's the Chronicles version. Pretty sure that's what it is. I'm actually almost done with 4, because I've been through it a million times. Not necessarily this version. This is the first time I've ever made it past Bahamut there, but the Super Nintendo version I've been through a million times. At least 2 of which I've done on my written blog. So I'm thinking, if I do manage to actually get something done here, it'll probably be that I clear, and then after that I'm just going to keep with 2 and 9 and try to get one of those done. Uh, you know, because I've been working on all that for way longer than I thought I would be, and I would kind of like to get those done too. Uh, far as Final Fantasy II goes, just about done with Tower of Mysidia, so I'm thinking I'm gonna get that done, and like I said in the last issue of that I put up, I was gonna try to do that all in one and just not bother with each mini boss, but getting close on that too. I just need to sit down and make all this happen. Um, and as far as other stuff I've been doing since the last one of these, I did. I well, actually, when I was making the last one, the last video like this, I was actually watching season 12 of Mystery Science Theater, and an anime called Beastars on Netflix. So I figured, now that I'm through both of those, I may as well take a minute or two to, give a couple of thoughts on each of those. Now that Beastars thing, probably gonna wind up giving a couple of spoilers here. Hopefully, nothing too big or bad or anything. But basically, it's set in this Japanese naturally high school. Inhabited by anthropomorphic animals, that kind of thing, which something I'm kind of into. But basically, yeah, the lead character is this wolf dude called Legoshi, something like that. It's just the kind of fella I can say I actually kind of get, even though I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a terribly wolf-like fella myself. It's that he's kind of this shy, introverted fella that has trouble dealing with his predatory instincts. Um, which even though I wouldn't necessarily say I'm wolf-like or predatory, I do have some unfortunate eating habits, which I think show here. So I get where he's coming from on a lot of that. He's interacting with his fellow students. That winds up developing a kind of a crush or a thing or something for this, little, rabbit girl called Haru. That okay, so we're getting into kind of, holy shit stereotypes kind of thing because Jesus, this is one of those things where I know rabbits are supposed to be known for like being kind of sexually active and all that kind of thing, but holy hell, because as the relationship develops, you know, okay, where it starts is Legoshi winds up you know jumping on her because his predatory instincts go nuts, and he's like struggling with himself so he doesn't wind up like literally biting her face off, and as the things go on, like the second time they meet after they know who each other are, they wind up in this love shack, and oh shit, like slow down here, huh? And then as they go through the series, there's also this like I don't know, this like popular deer fella called Louis or Lewis or something. That's some kind of an actor that I guess he's a good at what he does or something, but he's popular for I don't understand why, but people are going nuts over him, and but that's kind of a side thing, So they're all interacting with one another, and then there's a main relationship thing that with Haru and Nagoshi that I as that's going on, there's a couple of moments where okay, I get where Nagoshi's coming from on this because okay, how do you he wants to tell her how he feels, and how do you go about that when you're basically the guy that tried to chew her face off the first time you met her. And then when he finally works up the nerve to do some of that, turns out she already kind of knows. And it's basically the best sum up I've got for what I've seen this far is well, there's this whole segment in boy, I forget. I know it's a later season, like 8 or 9, or I think it's a season 9 Mystery Science Theater host segment where they don't, or yeah, I'm not gonna say 9 on that. Yeah, because they're like in the castle, and Mike calls down to uh, basically thank Pearl for not killing them. You know, but how do you? But anyway, you know, And basically there was, this whole big action rescue sequence at the end of what I understand is the first season. That, was pretty intense actually, and I'm looking forward to the second season that is supposed to come out here in a couple of weeks, I guess. So anyway, I might wind up checking that out, and provided I haven't made a complete wreck of the first season, I'd recommend checking that out to whoever's winds up watching this. Then there's the the Mystery Science Theater. Kind of interesting that I make that kind of connection, because that's the other thing I've been watching on Netflix here. They actually did a couple of Kickstarter seasons there for on Netflix in 2017 and 2018, and well, I'm kind of mixed about it actually, because well, this is one of those things where I was actually a fan from when I first discovered what they were calling the Mystery Science Theater Hour. It was, I think, my senior year of high school. Caught my interest then, but I didn't really have a chance to, watch the show as it aired in its full form until it came on the Sci-Fi Channel when I was in college. Yeah, because like Comedy Central was I think a subscription or a pay channel. When I was in high school, and my family only did regular, basic cable up until then. And by the time I was in college, sci-fi was a part of basic cable there, which kind of explains why, at the end of season 10, that kind of they wound up getting canceled, and I think that's kind of factors into how I feel about seasons 11 and 12. Because at the end of season 10, it they did like a series finale kind of thing where it ended in such a way that they were saying the end and kind of had to mean it. Which is not to say that I wasn't glad for the extra couple of seasons. In fact, when they announced these, Netflix Kickstarter seasons, coming up in 2015, uh, had I had, or what I thought were sufficient funds to, contribute to that, I probably would have, simply because I'm that much of a fan of the show. But I really wasn't in a place where I could do it. Um, But having watched all but one episode of season 11 and the entirety of season 12, I'm honestly not sure what I think of it. They certainly did. It's certainly not for the efforts of, the cast and crew, because I think they did an excellent job. It's just, I think, well, I've described in various places that one of the things that it seemed like it was more the movies they wound up getting, uh, because like a lot of the ones, especially in season 11, it seemed like these were, um, well, see, when I was a kid back in the 80s, there was, a local theater, in this case downtown, that would, do this season pass thing for Saturday matinees. These were, basically kid and family friendly movies that were basically meant to get grade school kids like me and my brother out of the house for, however long on a Saturday morning or afternoon or whenever these were, for a couple hours, and give parents time to themselves or time to go shopping downtown or whatever. And these were, iffy movies at best. Certainly not bad, but no way the hell they'd call them particularly great or anything. Um, and that's what we were getting a lot of, especially in season 11 and to some extent in season 12. And gotta say, Jonah Ray and Felicia Day and all these other people that were involved did pretty good work with them. Uh, you know, but, these were not good. These were, you know, movies that were, kind of okay. Here's the last however much is in the studio's production budget, and we're gonna spend it on Avalanche or Cry Wilderness or Killer Fish, because it's either that or wind up giving it all away as taxes, so they spend it on the movie, right? Um, so I mean, they were gotta say season 12 I think was slightly better, but still had, it's still compared to the first 10 seasons, because a lot of the episodes I'm familiar with in the first 10 seasons were, I think, had movies that were, I think they were aiming a little higher for a quality end product than what they actually got. Whereas seasons 11 and 12, were more like Mac and Me, wasn't necessarily meant to be, anything spectacular, just something that, like, here you go, kids, here's this, movie here uh, for you to go see while mom and dad go to the furniture store or whatever, you know. And yeah, there was still plenty to riff on, of course, and I think they did pretty good with it. But yeah, like I was talking to my mom about season 11. Um, Basically, what I told her was that over in the that like in those first like 3-4 years after the show was canceled and before it went off the air, I was especially I was writing fan scripts of my own, and had wound up with more or less my own series, sort of thing, which is basically all fan kind of thing, right? Like I keep saying, some of which I'm actually posting, trying to get posted up on my written blog. I've got one more I need to write up the end caps for the split for the 2 parts I've got for that episode. But yeah, basically, seems more like, yeah, it's kind of like the 2016 Ghostbusters movie. Actually, it seems more like a, I mean, again, nothing against, anyone involved with it. It just seems, more like a fan project that, you know, I mean, maybe this was because it was indeed a Kickstarter thing that makes it seem like a fan project that actually got, a studio and a decent budget. And I guess it kind of was for the Mystery Science Theater seasons 11 or 12 kind of were. Yeah, that's a good thing, I think, and I'm glad it happened. But I'm honestly not entirely sure how I feel about that. But if you're into that kind of thing and you don't want to, have a Netflix account, I'd still recommend checking it out. But you know, uh, you know, um, But anyway, I really don't know how much that we're done with actually the TV and stuff. Part of what's kept me from enjoying that a little more than maybe I have is the same old winter issues I get, because it's well, I don't know how well it actually shows up, but there's a fair amount. I guess it's this side over here that has you know uh, anyway, there's a fair amount of gray in my sideburns here that don't know how all that shows up, and I guess it's the hair too, because I'm not a particularly young fella anymore, so I've got a bunch of arthritis in my left leg especially, and there's that, and this cold winter air makes my contributes to a lot of dry skin issues on my feet especially, but kind of shows up on my hands here, especially the left one. I guess a lot of the scabs and stuff washed out off of there when I was in the shower before I started recording, but that it's not comfortable. But fortunately, I've been getting lotion on there. Some of which is actually that stuff I got when I was working at Mount Rushmore in the late '90s. It shows its age. It's thinner than I thought it would be, but still actually works. This is actually better than it was even a couple of days ago. So I'm glad I'm doing that. Um, and if you read my written blog, I talk about a little bit about how I got something called Raynaud syndrome, something like that, which basically is a kind of an unfortunate and painful reaction to cold and stress, because I go out and like we've had this sub-zero temperatures for I don't know, 5 6 days here, and the good news is my parents did talk me into getting some like heated gloves or something, and they have been real, kind of, well, finger savers if not lifesavers, because this Rhino thing I get. Like if I go out and if I've been going out in the cold with just my regular gloves and liners, my fingers, these two fingers here would be wind up turning white down to this knuckle here, which unfortunately they're not doing it now, but it's not a particularly pleasant thing, and I'm glad I found a way to prevent that. Um, One way to maybe stop it from being as bad and as frequent would be to take some of this weight off, which I'm working on, and uh, hopefully having a little more success at again here. Because it's not doing me any good to be this big, and I'd like to think I can maybe get somewhere with that. But so I'm working on that, and like I mentioned that lotion I was using that I talked about in that odds and ends video I made back in October or November, whenever that was. I've actually been using some of that stuff like I said I would. Like I used that, one of the little bottles of shampoo, which actually worked out okay, all things considered. That was showing its age too, which, because it was a little thicker than I think maybe it should have been, but still did an okay job. Excuse me. Got one more of those I kind of need to get through. Um, but I think I'm going to finish the bottle or regular stuff I've got in the shower before I get to that. And there was that little bar of what I'm thinking was meant as hand soap I'm going to get on with, just so this stuff is getting used. And I think I might have mentioned somewhere that I think I've got enough to, maybe make a somewhat shorter video for that too. On that, on those couple of things. Hopefully, it won't be coming up on a half hour like this one has been, but I actually had things to talk about this month, which is actually kind of a rare thing for me, because it's actually, you know, in spite of what you might see here, I am not actually a talkative guy, so trying to go on for a half hour like that, or, well, 25 minutes is not a particularly easy thing. I'm glad I've made it this far without making too much of a fool of myself. But, now that I'm out of things to, blabber on about, I think I'm going to wrap this up and say, see you next month if I don't actually get around to, to making another video before then. But hopefully I will. But otherwise, if I don't see you in the next week or so with another video like this, I'll see you sometime in March. So until then, have a good time out there on the internet, folks, and I'll see you when I see you. Have a good however long. Bye now.